Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy almost end of September. Yay. Yay. Almost the end. So today was very interesting day news-wise. Welcome to Agenda News, where every now and again, if there's something interesting happening on the news, I feel like talking about it. I talk about it. Okay, so what really is of interest of me, I know there's a lot of noise going on about the president being impeached or an inquiry to impeach or whatever the heck is going on, right? I mean, I've been keeping up with it, believe me, I have. But what I don't want to happen is the news to get so hyper focused on the inquiry to impeach that they totally disregard all other news. So that's my biggest concern, I guess, because I'm still waiting to find out what's going on at the immigration, uh, with the detention centers, the detention and detainment centers, and the birthright citizen, the temporary status protection and deportations. I feel like Trump's really uh, getting a lot done there quietly, and we are being very distracted again. I also really, really, really never have believed that Jeffrey Epstein just went and killed himself and happened to break the bones in his neck and get contusions all over him. And it's just like near impossible in the cell he was in for that to happen. One day, the morning after he gave up all the names. Okay, so I'm still wanting to know what the connection is between Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein, and I really do believe Virginia that she did have relations with Prince Andrew, but then what they're using is what the royal family is giving as a kind of a reason Prince Andrew was still hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein is because Fergie, Duchess of York, his ex-wife, had to borrow so much, had gotten herself into such trouble with owing money to people that she literally had to um, borrow money from Jeffrey Epstein, and she owed Jeffrey Epstein money. Now, what's interesting about that, to me, anyways, is that um, she not, the royals just don't take care of their own. They just don't. They until somebody gets in trouble. And they're using Fergie as well. It was Fergie's fault, but really, what does it come back to? The Queen. The Queen didn't. The Queen said, "Okay, you're out," but was she really out? She really wasn't out. She wanted to be. Those two have been living in the same place with their, when their girls were growing up, they stayed together. It's like a lot of people do this. They have their open, they get divorced, but they stay living together. And what's really kind of sad is that Prince Andrew and Fergie were actually starting to see each other again and have little dates and stuff. So, I wish them well. I still think he did something very perverted, whether he knew. Uh, yeah, I believe Virginia. I don't think she has anything to lose at this point. She's been saying from the beginning, princes, governors, political figures. Um, so I want to know where Ghislaine Maxwell is in all this still. So I still want to know that. I want to know what's going on with Kim Jong-un in North Korea and the intercontinental ballistic missiles that he's playing with, that he's moving around while he's actually just setting off normal missiles, just normal testing. But meanwhile, he's moving the intercontinental ballistic missiles back and forth. What's going on? All right, so those things I still am really, really concerned about. I still want to keep up with the candidates and find out what they're doing on the campaign trail. I don't want them to get sideswiped in all of this. I really don't. I want to know what's going on with gun laws for all the people of Parkland, El Paso, Sandy Hook, all the people that are still waiting for gun laws. I really don't want this to get all the, I just hope the media doesn't sweep everything under the rug and just stay so hyper on this, although it needs to be covered. All right, for me, it's a no-brainer. I read the Mueller report. I read it. I read it 7 times plus almost eight times, because I wanted to go back and clarify in areas, because it is 407 pages long, and I wanted to go back in after the Mueller testimony. I went back and read it 3 more times, and then each time I had a question about something, I went back and read it again. It's still available for people to read. I do not understand how anybody could not see the, what's the word I want? Flagrant? Flagrant? Is that a word? Blatant crimes. They're crimes that were going on. The collusion may not be a crime, but there were many in cahoots together and cohorting to connive and conspire and do dirty and finagle and fraudulate, and it's all there. So there's never been a question in my mind: was this president involved in the very own hijacking of the 2016 campaign? Yes, he was. Whether Russia was truly involved or not, even though the intelligence, the FBI, everyone says Russia was involved, Trump says no, Russia wasn't involved. I don't care who was involved. If somebody is interfering with an election, we, the people, have a right to say, yeah, that. We have a right to say that. So, what I think Nancy Pelosi is doing right now is showing everything's okay, kids. Everything's okay out there. We, the people, still are going forth with due process, and we are pursuing justice, and we are using our rights, and democracy is alive and well in America. Congress is healthy, government is healthy, nothing broken to see here. The only broken thing may be the person in the White House and that administration. However, we're moving forward. She wanted to wait to get, I was like, when is she going to? Okay, now she's got her feet in the water. She's not quite in the deep end. She's just going to splash around her toes and get them wet in the shallow end, because this is an inquiry. It's an inquiry to impeach, which is not it's not an outcry for an impeachment. It's not. They have to put forth the articles. Do they have articles? Sure they do. Read the Mueller report. Okay, so how does the Ukraine tie into the Mueller report? Well, the exact thing that Donald Trump is doing in that phone call to, I kind of feel bad for the Ukraine president, because he's kind of like, he's looking at Donald Trump like Mr. Moneybags there. Hey, probably looking up to him. He's a young guy, kind of a funny guy, and really popular, kind of like good sense of humor. And you could tell he looks up to Trump. And it is just so clear in the transcripts. Basically, what he's saying is, we'll take care of you. Don't worry. I know. Those nasty Democrats, they didn't take care of you. Obama didn't give you much help, I know. But we're going to give you more. We're going to give you lots of help. You know what? We need a favor, too. We got something we need some help from you. You can help us, too. What's that sound like? I just stop and say, am I watching The Sopranos? What's going on here? Okay, so speaking of that movie's coming out where James Gandolfini's son is going to play James Gandolfini as Tony Soprano in a flashback. Ooh, like they're going to look at his young life. Freaky. Anyways, just thought of that for a minute. Rudy Giuliani has been saying forever, something stinks with that Joe Biden. Something stinks with Joe Biden and his son Hunter. They took $1 billion. There's a story there. Rudy's been itching to get that story forever. So it didn't surprise me that Donald Trump said, I'm going to send my lawyer. And it wasn't Jay Sekulow, that it was Rudy Giuliani. And Rudy Giuliani is like proud to say, yeah, we think it stinks. I think it stunk forever. And all the while Rudy Giuliani is talking, it's like he's farting and he doesn't hear himself fart. And everyone can smell the stink, but he doesn't, he's nose blind to his own stink, okay? So every single time he goes on a talk show, which he does quite often, he brags about, oh yeah, I did this because, right? The Trump administration is going, Rudy, just go hang out in the bathroom for a while, please. Take your smelly drawers to the bathroom. You're having little accidents there. He opened his mouth again. Talk about leaking in that White House. Excuse me. That is a messed up administration. So anyways, so Rudy is in head. He is like up. He's sunk. He's just under the bus. I'm going to be praying for Rudy because I pray that nobody finds him. Whew, nobody finds him naked, upside down in an ocean, or hanging on a doorknob, or a shower rod, or it's just no good. It's no good. Okay? Donald Trump is throwing Rudy under the bus. Does Rudy know it? I don't think so. He's too enamored with Trump. All right, so Nancy Pelosi doesn't really want to be president, and why would she be president? She didn't really want to jump in and say, "Okay, let's go impeach Trump." Number one, Trump has dump issue with everyone. He knows where people have taken their dumps, what their dumps look like. He can identify their dumps totally from afar. He can smell their dumps from afar. He can point them out. He knows shit on people, pardon my language. He knows shit. He's like a poop identifier. He's the poop keeper of injustices. He knows. He watches people and he knows who did what. So why is everybody like getting in line with him all the time and being like, "Ooh, okay, we're gonna follow it even if it isn't right. We're gonna step in line." Why have all these Republicans just been like cowered down? Why have even some of the top Democrats, House Speaker, been like, okay, wait a minute, settle down, all you freshmen. I know what the law is. I've been here. I wrote the law for that. Settle down. Why? Because she really had to. Because she really does know. She wrote the law with the Gang of Four on whistleblowing. And had this been instead of I can't do that, a really strong blow of a whistle, had this been like a toot outside of a whistle instead of a really loud whistle, she would have had to say no. Let's just talk behind closed doors. This is not for the consumption of the masses. Doesn't mean anything. But there is a due process that has to go forth when someone whistleblows. It's high up and it has to do with officials. And they're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing. I think it totally blindsided Donald Trump, and I kind of feel bad for him because he was so blindsided and didn't see that coming. Like, oh no, you can't. This isn't. Let's make a deal, and let's get a young new president who needs the United States involved, because that's what he did. That's what he did. So what's wrong with this whole thing? Why does it stink? It's very. Can you imagine being the Ukraine president waking up today, thinking, I can't. All I said was hello. All I said was hello. I took the call. It was President Trump. I took the call. And now I'm in the middle of this mess. I don't want to be in the middle of this mess. Okay. Donald Trump is still saying, witch hunt, hoax. Witch hunt and hoax. They're hoaxing again. They're hunting me down again. Those dirty Democrats. You know what? I actually liked you, Sir, Mr. Donald Trump. I actually liked you for years. I used to follow you on your career. I never watched The Apprentice because by then I didn't like you. But when you were younger, when you were married to Ivana, even when you were going through your divorce with Ivana, when you went broke a couple times, when you wrote your book, when you were on Donahue, when you were on Charlie Rose, what was it, The Snyder Show, Late Night. You did all the talk show junkets. When you were on Oprah, when you were on with Martha Stewart, I I used to follow him and really I was interested in this man that I felt sorry for. I thought, must be hard to be at the time. I mean, you could even see him in movies like Home Alone. He always made cameo appearances, showing up here and there. Oh, there's Mr. Trump. You know, there's the Donald. Okay, well, I always thought Jesus lonely at the top. He looks so lonely, and everybody always asked him, "Are you going to make a run for president?" And he'd say, "No, no, no, not me. I'd like to see somebody who could do better, but not me." And he always talked about the same thing. He has never changed. It's always been China's screwing us. Everyone's screwing us. It's not fair. We're not winning. We're not treated right. America is not being treated right. Our country is losing. We're not winning. That's all he ever talked about. But no, it's not for me. Maybe I'd run for governor or something, but no, not for me. No, 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 no. A lot of people kept asking him, and so there he is now. Um, Something changed with him. Something between the time of the divorce with Marla Maples and his marriage to Melania Trump and the birth of their son. Something really, I mean, he just seemed more bitter, like very bitter. And I wonder sometimes if it has something to do with all the conspiracy theories that he did entertain. I just wonder. But all that aside, this had to be done. And in my mind, the way I understood the Mueller report is there was enough offenses, criminal offenses, to put a person in jail. A normal human being would go to jail and not come out for a long time. But instead, what we see is him remaining president and everybody around him going to jail. And yeah. So is he going to get impeached? I don't know. You know, this is a door to open to investigate more what they couldn't really get in the Mueller report, which was pretty darn clear to me. If they were going to impeach, they should have a long time ago, but I can understand that if they were going to impeach, that would have left the country with Mike Pence, who probably knows everything Trump is doing, because if you're either with Trump or you're not. You're either a loyalist and you're perfectly aware of the shitty things and slimy things he does, and you're loyal. You're not going to talk because that's how mob-connected people are. You're aware of the nasty, but you overlook the nasty because there's so much good. Okay, so it's an honor to work with Trump. If you're with Trump, then you don't talk, you don't whistle blow. But every week he gets rid of somebody or forces somebody to resign or actually fires somebody. So I was really surprised that he released these phone conversations because he really seems to believe that there was nothing that he did wrong. Because in his mind, the way Trump is Trump and do things the way Trump wants is you just, no big deal. Just, what did I do there? You just do what he wants and it'll be okay. Everything will go well. So Mike Pence would have to know what he's been doing. So when they go to impeach him, that leaves who to be president? Who? Mike Pence. Who wants Mike Pence to be president? Okay, so I don't even think Mike Pence just he's like a zombie. The 3 years have caught up to him. Um, he knew, so he's gonna go down with the president. He's gonna go down. If he gets impeached, Pence will go down too. Won't be a situation like Richard Nixon where Ford took over. It won't be like that. It'll be, oop, and Pence, you're out too. And a lot of people in his administration. Um, so then who would become president? Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House. She doesn't want to become president because guess what? There's a lot of skeletons in Nancy Pelosi's closet too. As much as she tries to be fair and she knows Donald and Donald knows her, and they're trying to do the right thing, he's got shit on her too. So this is just a no-win shitty situation. It smells. It smells bad. Um, it's not going to. It's not going to. I, the phone call is really bad. The whistleblower is going to be protected. There's going to be a lot of noise. It is going to stir up his base. And I will say this: I don't think Donald Trump invited white supremacists, nationalists, and racists to his party. I think they came uninvited and they hung out on the fringes of some right-wing groups, and he did not show them the door and bounce them out when he should have. And now he's using them. He's using them. And now Democrats, Independents, Republicans, whoever didn't vote for Trump, we're just all nasty, we're evil, we're the enemy, we're radicals, we're the terrorists, we're the real terrorists, because we didn't vote for him, we're anti-American. We should be sent somewhere, but where? We're from this country, so where are they going to send us? Okay, but we don't belong. Okay, so this guy has definitely made an us and a them. There's a lot of people that are truthers out there, and people woke in the woken state who believe Donald Trump is God sent to be in office and he's sovereign. No, not everything that happens is because God wanted it to happen. God is allowing us to have free choice. His children, he gave us free mind, free choice. And we get the consequences of what we've chosen. And the majority chose Donald Trump. Legitimately or illegitimately, he got in there. Okay, so sometimes we get bad. He gave us free will. If we don't exercise our body, we don't take care of our body's going to get sick. Keep eating the wrong foods, our body's going to get sick. If we have a lifestyle that's unhealthy, our body's going to get sick. People are always like, well, why did God allow suffering and sickness and nobody did anything? Well, because we're in a fallen state. This is not the government God intended for us. So I just keep saying, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. There is a perfect government coming. There is a new world order coming. We are going to lose currency. We're probably going to have to take the mark of the beast, and we'll do it subliminally without even question, although some might be martyred, because it's going to come in the form of everybody's having to walk around with a birth certificate around their neck at this point, to show that they belong and they're okay to live where they live. There's just too much crazy lines drawn in the borders in the sand with tripwire everywhere. It's gotten to be crazy town lines everywhere with tripwire and explosives. tripwire. It's like a landmine out there of ground where people have claimed their territory. Stay there, stay there. You know, put the wall here. Walls never solved anything, and all the bridges are broken. Donald Trump has not completed one promise of infrastructure building. Airplanes are still a mess, falling out of the sky. Airports are a mess. Healthcare is a mess because Mary Ann Williamson was right. As long as healthcare is still taught to be, as long as Americans are still being given a healthcare that is wrong, is disease and pathology driven for profit, we're never going to be okay. That's number one. He's he's just, honestly, when Nancy Pelosi said inquiry to impeach, when she actually said the word impeach, we're going forth, I felt my diaphragm rise and fall, and I actually took a cleansing breath. First one I've taken in 3 years. And you could see on all the news reporters' faces today, Wolf Blitz didn't look as startled. Allison Camerado this morning just looked calm. Just like everybody slept better. Chris Cuomo last night was like, okay then. Don Lemon was like, I loved him. I love him. Anderson Cooper was just like, October's classes. Everyone was taking a collective sigh of, yes, because even Republicans, because we see that we're being heard. I mean, it's like all the media said, okay, they saw that, they heard that. It's not fake news. We didn't make it up. Everybody heard the same thing. We're all on the same page. We're not all having a mass hallucination here. Okay? It isn't alternate facts. It isn't. So that's a good feeling. But do I think anything will come of it? I don't know. No. I think that impeachment always makes a country look vulnerable. And I think with this president in particular, he's the master of distraction. And his mind is his energy is so cluttered. His energy is so hurt and cluttered. He cannot step away from, he can't, I don't know. He's stuck. And the whole world is watching, and he has to have good peripheral vision right now and ears to listen to his counsel and advisors about what is right for the country. Right now, all he wants to do is defend himself, and that's never a good place to be. So that does kind of worry me. So I will be praying that this is quick and efficient, that we can all just, that Americans and everyone can just sit back and wait and let due process go forth, democracy continue, and let all the legal statutes go forth the way they have to, the articles of impeachment, the testimony, the sacredness of the whistleblower, because we've got to keep that whistleblower safe. And there has to be a watch person put on Donald Trump right now as president. I don't know how that's done. But he will be a little more handled right now because he's a little more dangerous right now. And so it's never a good thing to have a president impeached. Never. I pray for his health. I pray for his family. I pray for the leaders of the world. But mostly I pray whenever I hear a plane that somebody's not going to drop a bomb on us now. Because he's made us very vulnerable with his crony business tactics. He is not draining the swamp. Please wake up, those woke people. You still got some sleepies in your eye for all the wokeness you are. Maybe you're not drinking coffee with caffeine. I don't know. But he is not the Savior. He is not the Messiah. He is also not the Antichrist. He's just a man. He's just a man who's really good at business and making a deal. He's been living off his brand forever. He doesn't have half the money he claims to have. His brand has been his money. And I'm not talking paper money. He doesn't have, which is why he has to keep his businesses going. He's not that rich Donald Trump like you think he is. He's been living off people forever. Forever and ever and ever. Okay, so there's a lot of woke truthers out there who are like, oh my God, I can't believe the Democrats are doing this. Just, shh, hush. Just wait it out. If you really believe in God, why are you so worried about a man in the White House? Okay, because he's not the government. God is your king. God is sovereign. So that's all I want to say, folks. I'm going to keep praying. I know who my higher power is, God Almighty Jehovah, who is sovereign and still on the throne. And he's already given us a glimpse of the heavenly kingdom that is going to be brought to this earth, that is going to be perfect. And we know that we're living in a fallen state if we claim to know God. We know that we're living in a systemically rotted earth right now, and that we can make it better, but that in the end, that will be the perfect government. Okay, so I don't worry about these things. They're temporal, right? Okay, take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.